News at this hour out of Texas. We are getting some information about a plane crash there. Crews responding to the scene in a field in Brookshire, Texas. This is outside Houston, not far from the Houston Executive Airport. What we know at this point is that there were 21 people on board that plane, 18 passengers, 3 crew members. You're looking at some video now from when the crews first responded here, fire crews first responded. As we understand it from our affiliate in Dallas, this plane was taking off from that executive airport, 21 people on board in total. It had trouble apparently gaining altitude after takeoff and then crashed in this nearby field. As you can see, obviously a large fire, the fuselage here completely engulfed, and what remains, you can see there, the tail of the plane, the engines, it looks like are intact to some degree. As we understand, all 21 people on board this plane were able to get off. There may have been one minor injury as a result of the hard landing here before those folks were able to get off the plane. The Texas Department of Public Safety, the state agency that handles investigations, along with the FAA and the NTSB, on scene here or headed to the scene to start investigating exactly what went wrong. But again, we can report at this point after a small actually, I don't know the exact size of the plane, but after this plane crash in Texas near Houston, 21 people on board, no one seriously hurt, no deaths to report here. Of course, we're going to continue to follow this. You can look for the latest details across the platforms of NBC News.
The things that we're still hearing from those at the scene, and particularly Sheriff Troy Guidry, the Waller County Sheriff, is they're now here. This all may be the possibility. I know you've been talking about weather and all this. May be the possibility of an aborted takeoff. That would explain one of the reasons that the plane burst into flames and was decimated by the flames is it had a ton of fuel on board. We're still waiting on exact confirmation as to what happened for that. We've tried to track the flight. We couldn't see any flight pattern at this point. Now, we do have a little bit more information on this plane. As we have been telling you, it's a McDonnell Douglas DC-987. It looks like the certificate for this plane, the manufacturer certificate, was issued in 2015. It's a 172-seat capacity aircraft with a twin-engine jet, so this is a very large jet. It looks to be owned by a company out of the Spring area. We're trying to get in touch with that company before we mention that company's name, just to make sure. So this is an older model plane. It is a large plane. As I said, it has 172-seat capacity. For what we are told from Sheriff Guidry is they have been assured that 21 people were on board. 18 of those were passengers, 3 were crew, and that everybody made it out of this plane before it was destroyed by those flames. And only 1 injury at this point, no fatalities. So everybody's breathing a sigh of relief on that point. But again, they're going to be double checking the manifest to be absolutely certain. Beyond that, we're going to have to wait until emergency crews finish their work to get a little more detail on exactly what happened. We've been speaking with people at Houston Executive Airport as well. They're trying to get us information as soon as the emergency itself is under control. But as we said, at this point, only 1 injury, no fatalities, and the sheriff with Waller County does believe that everybody on board did make it out. You can see, based on looking at that, that aborted takeoff does seem to jive more and more with what we're seeing. I mean, you see the ruts in the ground from the wheels, from where the plane may have just fishtailed before it ended up in that position. And again, such a large burst of flames to destroy this aircraft would indicate that it was full of fuel, which would again fall in line with the possibility of an aborted takeoff. But as soon as we have more specific details on those sequence of events, we will come back and update you.
All right, Robert Arnold, live in the newsroom. Thank you so much.
I want to go out to KPRC2 reporter Sophia Ojeda. She had just arrived there near the scene. Sophia, what are you seeing from your vantage point?
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, I just arrived just a few minutes ago. Coming down Morton Road here. I live about 15 minutes away, so I was able to get here pretty quickly. The camera around here and show you what we're seeing from the ground. But as I was driving here, as soon as I turned up FM 2855, there were emergency crews just flying through, getting everybody to move off the roads. Understandably, if you can see in the distance there, a lot of emergency vehicles on the dirt road portion here of Morton Road as this big tractor trailer pulls through. And as soon as I pulled up, you can see deputies here in the sheriff's department trying to keep traffic moving, right? Trying to keep cars and vehicles from going down into that area. They want as many vehicles away from this area, avoid the area, because they're trying to get emergency crews to this exact location. And if you can see, it's a 2-lane road. So I had to pull off into a driveway here, and that was the difficult part when you're driving down 2 lanes. Huge fire trucks trying to get through, emergency vehicles trying to get through. They need as much room to get here. And this is an industrial area, lots of industrial businesses, so a lot of tractor trailers are already coming through this.
As we were saying earlier, we were hearing that this was possibly due to an aborted takeoff. Well, now this statement from the Waller County Judge, Trey Duhan, confirms that is, in fact, what happened. So if you bear with me, I'll read you the statement the judge just sent to us. The Waller County Office of Emergency Management and Waller County Sheriff's Office are aware there was a plane crash at Houston Executive Airport earlier this morning involving an MD-80 aircraft that was taking off from the airport heading north. The information we have at this time indicates the plane did not attain altitude at the end of the runway and went across Morton Road, coming to a rest in a field just north of the airport where it caught fire. Early reports indicate all passengers and crew safely exited the aircraft, and there is a report of 1 injury, a passenger reporting back pain. So that jives with everything that the Waller County Sheriff had told us earlier. That's going to be Troy Guidry. Now we're hearing that this definitely was the result of an aborted takeoff. Now, exactly what happened, that's going to be a while before that is determined. Right now, you still got crews on the scene trying to put those flames out, let all that jet fuel burn off, because if it was just taking off, that means its tanks were likely full, which would also explain why this plane was destroyed by this fire. But again, thankfully, now we're hearing from multiple people. Nobody was killed and only 1 injury reported at this point, a person reporting back pain. And again, for both the Waller County Judge and the Waller County Sheriff, it appears everybody on board that plane made it out safely. Back to you guys.